It doesn't matter what year you are. I'm head of the associates. If I give you an assignment, you do it.
Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. Today, I want to start off with this tweet that was posted by Ana Rojas back in September of last year. And it was replying to We Are Invictus and BetterUp, where she says, "So, Prince Harry uses this charitable organization to sell the therapies of a company with which he works and that have not even been able to help him overcome his own traumas." Very well said, Anna, and I love your profile pic. I 100% agree with this, and today I would like to talk about the hypocrisy surrounding BetterUp. So it's about that time again for the BetterUp Dog and Pony Show, and the virtual summit's coming up. For those that don't remember, last year they did it with Serena Williams and talked about inner work, and Harry had revealed to everybody that he had suffered from burnout. Well, it's about that time of year again where BetterUp will be peddling some other nonsense that is completely disconnected to 99% of the workforce. This summit at $1,000 per head is really targeted to the business leaders who are part of this global elite structure. For BetterUp, it's a money-making event to push their products and their app to these corporations. Listen to this marketing bullshit. Not just another virtual event. Uplift is something you'll want to tune into fully. It's a confluence of leaders like you coming together who are committed to the idea that people matter and their transformation is key to building a thriving business today and tomorrow. What a load of horseshit. How can you take this company seriously, especially when they don't even practice what they're preaching here? We all know that this word salad and these buzzwords that they keep throwing out is not about caring about the employee. It's about telling these business leaders how to psychologically change the mindset of the workforce in order to manipulate them to work more, work harder, essentially enslave them. I'm assuming Megan's involved with this and hooked BetterUp with Issa Rae because of Megan having her on her podcast. That doesn't look too well for Issa Rae now. She's a complete sellout. These kinds of celebrities talk out the both sides of their mouths. On one hand, they're preaching equality, and then on the next, they're siding with the globalists and pushing the agenda for some quick cash. This is exactly what this is. So Alexei Robichaud, or Robichok as I'd like to call him, he's doing the opening keynote as he should because he is a CEO per the company. And the opening keynote description says, "You know your business needs to transform, but who will get you there? Behind every business transformation, there's a human one. In a complex world, transformation is a lot bigger than rolling out a new system, rearranging the workflows, and sending out comms." Co-founder and CEO for BetterUp shows why human transformation, developing the right mindsets and behaviors across the organization to thrive in uncertainty, is critical to fuel the performance outcomes for your business, needs now and in the future. I read this out loud because I want you to hear how manipulative that is. The fact that he's saying developing the right mindsets and behaviors in conjunction with human transformation, that should be raising red flags all over the place, because it's not about actually caring about the employee. It's about how do you manipulate your employee to shut up, accept what you're given, and work more. So you, at the end of the day, can make more money. This has nothing to do about caring about the individuals. They are disposable assets to these corporations. And the reason why this is so concerning and bothersome is that Alexei Robichaud, or Lexi Robichoks, is part of the WEF. And if you look at his profile, so it says here that BetterUp is the first leadership development platform to connect coaching to sustainable behavior change. This should be concerning to so many people because what it sounds like is a brainwashing engine. These CEOs don't care about what matters to the employees. They don't care what makes them happy. They don't care what their passion is, and they don't seem to want to care. but instead want to change those people to give up what their passions are, to give up what makes them happy. I know this from experience working in a culture that did the same exact thing. And I'm not going to get into what happened to me. All I can say is that it was highly abusive and extremely detrimental to my health and welfare, to which I'm still trying to recover from. I can say I understand how dangerous this is and what it means for the employees should corporations take on this type of coaching. So Alexei Robichaux preaches about mattering. This is the new buzzword coming out of the WEF, pretending that these corporations care about the employees and making sure that they understand that their work matters and has impact and helps the organization. That really is not the case. And again, this goes back to businesses want to psychologically change your behavior so you put effort and focus into all your work as opposed to what makes you happy and what's your passion. If they did, then they would understand that people have families, that people have other interests than the crap that they're dealing with at work. I mean, work is work, honestly. They want people to dedicate their souls into these organizations. They want you to walk, talk, breathe, eat, sleep the company. They don't care that you have a family. They don't care that you want to start a family. They don't care that you need to rest because your health is suffering. And I know this because this is what I went through, to a point where it almost killed me. I hope someday I'll be able to tell this story without breaking down and crying. I'm not there yet, but one day. So it's important for me from time to time to collect the reviews from Glassdoor and put them up, giving the people who are expressing what is really going on in these corporate environments to show the world that this is all just a facade and what they are preaching is nothing but hypocrisy. The danger around this mind psychological manipulation in this service is that it could be used against the person. Let's be honest here. They're collecting data and mining it, especially corporations that are signing these contracts with BetterUp, such as our military and Air Force. That information can be weaponized, whatever they're collecting on these individuals around their thoughts and their feelings. So if, let's say, you need a group of people to start moving down the path of thinking a certain way and behaving a certain way, if you have one or two people who are not in line with the agenda, they will be able to pinpoint, figure out, do we need to focus on them more? Do we need to watch them more? And what I've noticed is that BetterUp has shifted more focus into rooting this service into the institutions or corporations to gain traction and for people to adopt this ideology or this mindset that they're trying to push on the workers. Okay, so let's start with the most recent. This is coming from a former employee dated February 10, 2023. The pros says some really amazing talent at the organization. The coaching is great, which is a good thing because your coach might be the only person who keeps you sane. So it sounds like to me that this person has been using or was using the service when they were working. But here's the thing. If their own people are using this service and talking to the coaches, and the coaches are collecting the data, this goes back to what I was saying all along. You know, this is technically a way for managers to spy on what employees that are not meshing well with the mindset or not drinking the Kool-Aid fast enough. They could definitely take a look at those reports and figure out how to get rid of you. But anyway, continuing on. The cons, it says, mind F, total disaster, toxic, toxic, toxic. If you want to work somewhere, they promise you growth, personal and professional development, clarity, purpose, and passion, but mean none of those things, then this is the place for you. Women, pay special attention. The founders will add you to the website because they want more women on the website, but you will be a pawn in their game. Do not work here. The founders hire people with experience and discredit that experience because it lacks a level of craftsmanship. There's a reason successful companies succeed and startups scale. But this company believes they can and should do everything in a different and unique way that will have you inventing and reinventing things over and over again. Nothing is ever good enough. Salespeople, please do not work here. There is no respect for your role. The general belief is that the product is so good, it should sell itself. And it's always wartime, so you'll need to work the hardest you've ever worked in your career. Advice to management: BetterUp, BOD. You have a fiduciary responsibility to do a better job. This place is not what it advertises. This person seems to summarize it. It's pretty much standard across all these types of organizations. This is traditionally how these companies care and behave with their employees. They really don't care. I can definitely validate that. The next one, February 3rd, 2023, 1 star. Title: Leadership Operates in Silos. Pros: product by far is the best out there. Cons: toxic leadership. Leadership operates in silos with no frontline management input. Changes are then rolled out. Then, because no frontline management was involved, they don't work. Leadership can be pretty condescending, no career growth. So this next one, rated 2 stars, dated February 1st, 2023. I love the title. Cannot recommend. If it looks too good to be true. They say the pros: great coworkers, though most are miserable, and inspirational vision. Some parts I find to be very white dude colonizer vibes. Well, your chimpo is from the British Empire and he is a racist and bully. If that kind of helps you. The pay is good if capacity were respected. The cons: poor, inexperienced leadership that surrounds themselves with yes people and inconsistent priorities. Not even strategic pivots, lead to regular productivity loss and low morale, and toxic positivity deployed by way of coerced optimism, mocking those who challenge or scrutinize, and all are of our isms and high-impact behaviors that are weaponized against independent thinkers, and significant disrespect for work-life boundaries, and performatively woke, but in reality, more like an old boys club. If you're friends with friends of the founders, you're probably doing okay. Everyone else exists to serve them. Logistically, in a constant state of chaos, there's no way we do things. It has to be invented every time. Most people who attempted to speak truth to power have either left or were let go, and are often scolded for being in a victim mindset. Culturally insensitive, and very, very long and time-insensitive application process. Quite culty. Advice to management: you've hired excellent talent. Use it. Ask for ideas and feedback from reports, not just VPs. Well, guys, I think this sort of summing up what we've been saying about Harry. And you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? This next one is dated January 11, 2023, and it was given 1 star. The title: The Worst Tech Culture Stereotypes, Toxic Management, Tons of Turnover, and No Walking the Walk. Oh boy. Pros: has good compensation and benefits. The cons: leadership behaves as if they are always the exception and exploits employees to compensate for lack of leadership accountability. Guys, I'm sensing a theme here. Fast pace is code for extremely poor resourcing, lots of single points of failure, and leadership that can't seem to align. We'll ask, skip step 1, questions at step 10 of the project. Leads to making last-minute decisions and forcing individual contributors to scramble and commit long hours under the guise of grit. Really poor technical literacy within the company, even within simple tools like Slack. Oh, they're using Slack? Oh, God, cheapos. and the lack of self-starter culture. Folks are unwilling to learn by doing. Cutthroat internal culture. I saw multiple teams completely laid off and restaffed in just 1 year. Turnover rate is crazy, and anyone who stays is for the promise of an IPO. For an HR company, really poor management. HR enables leadership bias, talks a big game about what the product does for other companies, but doesn't actually take that advice for themselves. Advice to management: practice what you preach. When you hire subject matter experts, listen to them. Hold leadership accountable. Well, I'm going to just have to say that these reviews, to some extent, HR looks at them, but it hasn't bubbled up to a point where it is damaging their brand, meaning like it's not being broadcasted on social media for the world to see and they're not getting called out on it. So they're not going to do anything unless it does become an issue for damaging their image and facade that they're trying to maintain. In the event that this does get exposed and it's broadcasted on a larger platform and their brand is actually impacted or there's a threat to that IPO, only then there will be some type of response or marketing around it showing how happy the employees are. They might even get a couple suckers from the company to speak on camera, and they might even promote a minority and build around that to create the optics that they are fair and inclusive. And yeah, you know how this goes, but nothing is going to change inside the organization because this type of work environment is very hard to displace. You'd have to get rid of the CEO in order to make actual change. Remember, he's the one that has founded the company, and this is the culture that he has built. The executive leadership cares about one thing, and that's the bottom line. They don't care about the individual employee's growth or their advancement or what makes them happy. Just shut up, do your work, and keep your head down. This next one, 2 stars and is a former employee less than a year. Company should be put out of business. No recommendations, no CEO approval, and no business outlook. Pros: great team to work with. The cons: pay cuts, commissions lowered significantly, and quotas doubled. Pay less for more without transparency up front. Advice to management: be better. And that was January 4th, 2023. And the last one, 1 star, dated December 9th, 2022. This is a former employee of more than a year. Pros: competitive package, some genuine people. The cons: cult-like facade management, out of touch, bullying, toxicity, everyone out for themselves, high burnout. I don't need to say any more. Pretty much sums it up in this last tweet. Prince Harry admits in his book to both his and Meghan's workplace bullying. How terrible for their employees' mental health and human rights. And they put BetterUp in there, which rightfully so. These hypocrites go off and virtue signal and tell people what they should be doing, but not really caring about these people who are working for them and slaving over to make them the money. The only advice that I think Harry gave that was the best out of every stupid thing that's come out of his mouth was that if you don't like your job, quit. I say this not because I'm wealthy. I'm saying this because I went through it. And had I had to do it over again, I should have trusted my gut and left on my own terms when I knew that I was being abused and taken advantage of in the most horrific way. Like many, you don't want to leave a job unless you have another job because in the United States, having health care comes along with a lot of these corporations. And it was a main reason why I stayed, because what if something happened to me and I needed health care? And by the time when I said, you know what, I need to walk away, I couldn't, because at that point, I started to get really sick as a result of this abuse that had been going on for an extended amount of time. And at that point, now the company's got you on the hook because they know you need the insurance. So you can't really leave. And it becomes this vicious cycle and truly a mind fuck because you are listening, thinking that they're going to help you get out of the situation, but in reality, they're trying to make sure that there is no lawsuit and that you go away quietly. As I said earlier in this video, I hope one day I will have the courage enough to tell my story with the goal of helping others who are either in a current situation and need the courage to walk away, or for those that have gone through something similar, that you're not alone. It will pass. I'm not going to lie, sometimes it seemed impossible, sometimes I didn't see a path, but every time I've asked God to help me, He definitely has found a way. And that's the honest truth, and for which I'm always grateful. And on that note, I will be back soon with more content, but until then, please be safe, and I'll catch you later. Bye!
It was such a fraud.